I've checked your vitals while you were unconscious, and detected that you did not suffer any corporeal damage. I am really, there's a phrase for it, glad that you are not a dead meat sack.
The Derelicts survival game is set to be released in early access in 2023. What has been done so far is really awesome, and the developer is one guy called Romain, a dev based in France. I did ask him how to pronounce his name, and he suggested that either Romain or Romain is fine. He said his French name is too difficult for English speakers to pronounce. However, I'm certainly going to take him up on that challenge. Players in Derelicts take on the role of a survivor in a post-apocalyptic world and must scavenge for resources, build shelters, craft weapons and armor, and fight off hostile creatures. The game features a variety of environments to explore, including abandoned towns, caves, underground bunkers, and generally explorable dungeon-type locations. There are also several types of enemies to face off against as you progress through the game. Derelicts promises to be an immersive experience that will challenge players to stay alive while they explore this dangerous world. At launch, one of the goals of the game is to be a 4-player co-op, and possibly 8 in the later future. You will be able to experience the game in a single-player mode as well, especially as there is a dog companion that you can have and actually also name. At launch it will be PvE only, and possibly later in the development cycle he will develop the PvP aspect as well. However, that is not his current focus. There is a story that will have an ending. The gist of the story is that you are returning to Earth after many years away. You have a team that is investigating some radiation wave, and inevitably something goes wrong. Now, you're back on Earth and you must survive by crafting, building, and living in the world. The crafting system and mechanics look really outstanding, and it's what the dev has been working on for quite a lot of the development time, so as to make it as immersive as possible. There's also farming in it, and Romain says he likes how Green Hell and the Forest did their farming and food system. What he is hoping for is to achieve possibly a mix of the two. So he would like to have a food system that includes things like calories and protein, but also doesn't want it to be too complicated and annoying. He wants the game to be able to push the player into crafting better foods and to do better farming, but he also doesn't want it to be a complete pain in the butt. If you haven't noticed, your inventory is similar to how the Forest does it. And if you watch his dev video blogs, you will see that the Forest influenced him a lot. So he wants an immersive in-game inventory style. Not a grid inventory, but something like that of the Forest, or even similar to that of Green Hell, where you organize your backpack. However, he said that he doesn't want to have this Tetris-like management that can often be immersion breaking. Besides building, which looks like you can develop some pretty neat housing, you will also be able to build traps and weapons. All of this is to combat the many monsters and wild animals that Derelicts will be throwing at you. Apparently the game will also have more powerful bosses that you will need to defeat, and you'll also be able to build defenses at your base and try to prevent monsters from destroying it. However, this aspect doesn't appear to have too much on it at the moment, so there's not that much info out there about this, so hopefully we can get some of that quite soon as we get closer and closer to the actual release. There will be a creative mode in the game, so that if you don't really want to do a lot of fighting, you just want to explore and build without that problem of having to fight other creatures, you can then build in peace by running the creative mode option. The map is going to be pretty huge, well, at least by my standards. Those of you that know the Forest, the developer has suggested it will be around about 3 to 4 times the size of that, which is not too shabby at all, so I'm really looking forward to a pretty large area to explore and scavenge from. So, when does this sweet indie game get released? As I've mentioned, according to the developer, the main release will be later in this year. However, there will be early access release, and this will be quite a substantial early access release as well, which will be happening early in 2023. It will initially launch on PC, but he has said that due to it being developed in Unreal Engine, he can at least move in the direction of releasing it on Apple Mac quite easily as well. Unfortunately, for the console players, this will probably only happen much later once the full game is launched. So after the initial release in 2023, he wants to keep supporting and adding to the game for a few more years, including with DLC additions. He expects the game to probably be around about $17 to $20 along that price range, which is certainly not a bad price at all. Initially, when he first started development, Romain said that he funded the game completely by himself, using money that he had saved prior to quitting his job and going full-time into the game development. So, if you're interested and want to support the developer, please go ahead and do so by wishlisting on Steam. You can also check out his Derelicts Patreon page. I'll certainly be following Derelicts, as I really can't wait to get my grubby paws on it. It looks fantastic and right up my alley for an explorable open-world survival game. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.